Some churches in Sebokeng are refusing to remain closed after required under lockdown level 3. Several groups of churches have called a meeting today. They say they weren't consulted about decisions to limit the number of people who attend church. Let's go live to Sebokeng in the Val now, where the meeting was supposed to take place. Our reporter Manqoba Mchunu is there. Manqoba, I realized that the police are there. I was wondering exactly when that would happen because the church is not adhering to these regulations.
Well, Maseko, quite chaotic scenes here at this particular church in Sebokeng. Recall that the congregants had earlier gathered on here to hold a service in defiance of lockdown regulations. Well, of course, police have now come here to the church to stop this service. In fact, they have arrested the pastor that we spoke to earlier on with regards to calling this particular gathering here today. So, as you can see, I just want to show you the picture so that you can see the police here closed this particular church. So, all the congregants have been asked to move, and in fact, the police have fired rubber bullets as well as stun grenades just to try and disperse these congregants. But of course, many of them are very angry. They are saying that they feel that their right to congregate has been taken away by the police, and they're saying that they will continue, of course, to hold the gatherings of this sort. But police are not having none of it. In fact, they're asking them to move, as you can see now. They're asking them to move away from here. And police again firing rubber bullets at these church congregants who are simply refusing to leave these premises, and they've just fired another stun grenade. So quite chaotic scenes here at this church, and of course not expected in a church, in a place of worship. One would have expected that these congregants would by now have dispersed, but they're refusing. They want the pastor to be released. And in fact, you can see one of those congregants again being confronted by police. Of course, he is refusing to leave this particular area. So again, rubber bullets being fired, and I think they want to take him into custody now. He's one of those congregants that are refusing to leave. You can just say, and those shots, police, they're saying that they will stop this service, and in fact they're saying that it's breaking the law, the fact that there is a congregation that's taking here today. We do understand that Pastor John Khatebe is also now has been arrested. So quite a number of people being arrested here today, but of course many of those church congregants quite angry at the developments that are taking here today. They are slowly dispersing, as you can see that side, but police also confiscating some of those equipment from the church. If I can just move back to the actual church premises, they are here now. They've closed the doors, they've closed the gates to ensure that people do not go back into the church. Sorry, I'm just out of breath there, Masiko, but police, in fact, excuse me, have just fired also tear gas, and they're saying that they're not going to allow this to unfold. Of course, many of those congregants are now dispersing. You can see the cars moving, leaving this particular scene, and in fact, I would say many of them were quite fortunate that they were not arrested because they were breaking the law essentially just by congregating here, because those level 3 of restrictions do not allow for such congregations to be had, whether indoor or outdoor congregations to be had. All of those have been prohibited. And let's just take a listen to what's happening here. Okay, so the police here were essentially asking one of the congregants to leave this particular place, to go back home. Baba, let's just speak to you. How are you feeling about what's happening here today?
Very disappointed.
Please, can you wear a mask just in line with COVID-19? Because that's also not allowed. We'll give him a chance to wear his mask in line. Of course, police are also coming this side, asking for them to be...
Hey, this is not a but so I'm waiting for no, that you cannot get a Koleaka, man. I saw I get my Jaka Kolean. Take it, my gun, I'm waiting for
Okay.
this.
Well, it seems that the police are now moving to arrest this gentleman. Of course, they've been asking him to leave, but it seems that they want to arrest him now for resisting to leave this place. Well, quite a volatile situation here. Of course, many of those congregants are quite reluctant to leave after their pastor was arrested. But we were hoping to speak to this gentleman, but of course he's leaving. He's been asked to leave. So that service has now been stopped by police, and these congregants are now being told to go home. So we do understand that the pastor has also been arrested.
All right, I guess we're going to have to leave it there. As you can see, those visuals of my colleague Manqoba Mchunu in Sebokeng, where church-goers were not adhering to COVID-19 rules. They decided that they would have their own thing done and have a congregation gathered, and police are, of course, there firing rubber bullets and tear gas to disperse the crowd.